Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are in the journey through A Course in Miracles with Ken Wapnick. We are starting Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles, and this is the introduction. The main theme of this opening chapter of A Course in Miracles, not surprisingly, is the miracle, which gives its name to the Course because it is the term that denotes the process of undoing the belief in our separation from God. This process can be likened to a journey from mindlessness to mindfulness. Accordingly, the miracle shifts our attention from the mindless body to the mind, or what later chapters refer to as the shift from the dream to the dreamer. Only through this shift can we learn that our lives are illusory. We can see that the miracle rests on the two themes of the Course's introduction, non-duality and undoing. We begin with the first principle. Principle 1, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. It is tempting to devote the rest of this book to this one principle because, as I mentioned in the prelude, the entire thought system of A Course in Miracles is contained in it. Principle 49 makes the same point. Principle 49. The miracle makes no distinction among degrees of misperception. It is a device for perception correction, effective quite apart from either the degree or the direction of the error. This is its true indiscriminateness. As we discussed in relation to the chart, and I'll show a picture of that at the end of this, the ego makes the world and body and then all of our problems for the single purpose of confining us to a perpetual state of mindlessness. The ego's prevailing strategy is to keep us in this state so that we will never get back to our minds and their power to choose. The ego's fear is that if we ever did return to that power, we would recognize our dreadful mistake in that original instant when we chose the ego's interpretation of the tiny mad idea rather than the Holy Spirit's. In such recognition, we would surely choose again, marking the ego's demise. To ensure against that ever happening, the ego rivets our attention on the external, and one could not ask for a more effective distraction device. For the minute bodies are born, they become problematic, ours and others. The scarcity principle listed in the wrong-minded box on the chart represents the belief that there is something missing in us, something that is very wrong. This is a theme that runs throughout A Course in Miracles, even though the term scarcity is used infrequently. The parallel term lack is more common. What is lacking stems from our original choice against God and Christ, when we believed we crucified God's Son at the beginning by destroying His perfect oneness and love. Following that perceived act, something indeed became missing, the innocence of ourself. The ego conceals this experience of scarcity by saying how wonderful it is to have an autonomous, unique, and special self. Yet this wonderful existence is immediately threatened by the appearance of a wrathful and insane God that the ego tells us is the punishing agent for our sin. The threat is that the very little we call our own will be taken from us. When projected, that thought of lack becomes omnipresent throughout the projection that is the material world. However, since ideas leave not their source, the idea of a separated world has never left its source in the separated mind. The body, our physical, psychological self, must then also manifest the scarcity principle. From the moment an infant is born, it is in a state of lack. It has to learn very quickly to breathe on its own. Otherwise, its lungs will lack the oxygen necessary for survival. That the infant can do, but on its own it cannot deal with the lack in its stomach. And that is where the first special relationship with an independent body is born, because the infant is totally dependent on a parent, usually the mother or maternal surrogate, to supply its nutritional needs. Lack develops on another level as well when the infant is not held or when their parents are not there. This is a psychological need, although there are probably some physical concomitants to that as well. As infants, we quickly discover what to do about this lack. We start to cry, and this usually elicits the desired response of our parents quickly coming to find out what is wrong. They hold and comfort us, telling us everything is all right. It feels wonderful, and early on, we learn the dynamics of special relationships, which help us deal with our experience of lack. I'm going to go ahead and stop there today, and we will pick up our reading tomorrow. I thank you for joining with me. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you then.